Welcome to Tales from the Gym, episode 1. I'm Ryan George.
I'm Justin Guild, aka Chef Sonic.
And we are the GymWits.
So if you ask any trainer, they'll basically tell you that they live at the gym. Of course, they don't get to do all the same things at the gym that they would at home. But in this story, that's not exactly the case.
Yeah, so when you're a trainer, you're expected to be at the gym during prime hours. So prime hours are early mornings, before work, lunchtime, and evening, so after work. But in between those times, there's a good deal of downtime. So you know, for many of us, it's go home and take a nap because we're super tired. For others, it might be go shopping. But whatever it is, most of that time, it's outside of the gym unless you're planning on working out. So at this particular gym, which had a huge staff,
and those
a lot
naps
of people,
are big, of course.
Those naps are big. They decided to create a nap room. You know, ostensibly it was to help us out because when we're tired, we can just go up there and take a nap instead of getting on the train, going home. But the reality was, it's really to keep the bodies in the gym, keep people in the gym so that once, they don't leave. So that, the more we're there, the more sessions we're doing, the more we're exposed to clients. So, while it was kind of a good thing or maybe meant to be good, it was really done because, it might be good for business.
Yeah.
So in this case, they built out this room. It was they kind of had 2 bunk beds. So they had one bunk bed here and then one bunk bed here. And they would use it as a nap room. But it very quickly became a situation where people weren't taking naps there. And, I heard about it. Everybody heard about it. There were all kinds of stories about people going in there. And then there were kind of rumors about who was hooking up with who and what was going on and where and everything.
Wait, so did you ever use the nap room?
So I was going to get to that. So I used it once to nap. I swear it was just to nap. And so I'm in the bunk room. I go in, I take a nap. I'm super tired. And then I'm awoken. Right? Is that the right word? Awoken or awaken? Is awoken a good word?
Awoken.
Awoken. I don't know. Whatever the word is. You get the point. I awaken to the sound of rocking above me. And, you could kind of tell by the noise that it was like they were trying to be discreet, but it was still there. And, it was not they didn't exactly get the most expensive bunk beds in the world. It was kind of like IKEA-ish. So, it was very uncomfortable.
Good thing they didn't fall on you.
Yeah, right. So it was very uncomfortable. It was very awkward. And then I was in a position where I didn't want to get up and leave. Even though I was not in the wrong, I just didn't want to get up and leave. So, I don't know how long it went on. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
You're being kept prisoner there.
Yeah, I was. I was being kept prisoner. So, finally it ends. And I'm kind of sitting there, covers over my head, ready to pretend I'm sleeping. And I hear the voices whispering, and I could make out the guy's voice, and I couldn't make out the female voice. But the guy's voice, I knew who he was, and he was married. His wife was a member of the gym. So I just thought, oh, wow, he snuck his wife in here? It was kind of hard. Where we were located, it's kind of tricky to get a non-employee into that area, but whatever. So we got her in there. So I'm just kind of sitting there waiting. I'm waiting for them to leave. Finally, I hear someone kind of getting dressed. The feet come down. The person walks away, and I see the person from behind, and it's female with long red hair. Now, problem was his wife had short blonde hair. So right away, I knew who it was. It was one of the trainers, and I forget if she was in a relationship or not, but I was like, oh crap, this guy's cheating on his wife. So now I'm just sitting there waiting, hoping she doesn't see me, and she leaves without seeing me.
But they knew that you were there. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if they knew I was there. I guess.
You walk in, they see you.
Maybe it was dark. Who knows? Like I don't know, because it was like the way it was situated. Say the door, and then you kind of come around here. So it could be that I was under the covers. Maybe I was buried deep in. Who knows? Whether or not they saw me, doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm just sitting there, kind of waiting. Finally, the guy leaves, and he doesn't look back. So I'm like, okay, great, I'm in the clear. I'm hanging out, I'm waiting for like 5 minutes, like give it enough time for him to disappear. Now, also next to the bunk bed room, so you have like the bunk bed room here. Over here is like another break room for us. We had like a computer and some lounge chairs. So I kind of get down, I put my feet down, I get up, and I walk out of the bunk bed room, kind of hoping no one sees me. And then he walks right outside and sees me. We just kind of look at each other. It was just this look of like this awkward, like knowing look. And I just turn and I just keep walking. And like we were never good friends. Not that I didn't like the guy. We just, we were, our paths never really crossed. But then from then on, anytime our paths did cross, it was just this awkward interaction. Like, when you have those like unspoken conversations with people where like, something.
And he never asked you.
He never said anything. He never said anything. And it was even more awkward when I would see him and his wife. And then I would just make it more awkward by like giving that look that was like a half second longer than it should have been. and that kind of knowing look, and then just walk away. But yeah, we never had that conversation, never said anything. And then in hindsight, I noticed, he and the other woman would flirt a lot. And I was like, okay, kind of makes sense. So anyway, to kind of end the story, the bunk room was legendary. And the problem was, though, I would talk to the housekeeping staff, and the housekeeping staff hated it because for them, this wasn't anything for members, right? This was just for the trainers, and it was ostensibly for us to sleep. We weren't using it for sleep. And so one of the days, one of the women in housekeeping was complaining to me. She's like, I hate it. I can't stand it. It's disgusting. People don't clean up after themselves. They just go in there. They do what they do. They don't clean it, and I got to clean it up. And she's like, I'm going to the manager. I'm done. I'm not cleaning this anymore. And I remember they had this discussion amongst us in a meeting. I was like, look, you guys need to clean up after yourselves. Otherwise, they're going to get rid of it. And sure enough, after a few months, like the break room was
so it's
no
funny,
more.
like management was totally okay with.
Pretty much. It was funny in the meeting because they kind
didn't
of
care.
In the meeting, they were like, they kind of alluded to it, but not quite. It was kind of like, look, the break room is a mess. It needs to be clean. The nap room is a mess. It needs to be clean. If it's not clean, you're going to get rid of it, or we're going to get rid of it. And sure enough, they ended up getting rid of the nap room because it was disgusting and people didn't clean up after themselves. And so the legendary nap room was no more.
So what's the moral of the story?
I don't know what's the moral of the story. That's your job.
Okay. Yeah.
My job is to tell the stories. You then analyze.
So the moral of the story is if you give people beds, they're going to use them, especially young, attractive people. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're not going to be used for naps, especially if it's
but
discreet and hidden away. Or the people that do use it for naps will be traumatized for life. So that's the moral.
And then
of the
you
story.
become a Tales from the Gym episode.
Exactly. Yeah. So in a way, that was that experience. A lot of these experiences, which you could see it from a traumatic end, especially one coming up, or you could see it as fodder for my stories. So
yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
so
I'm Ryan George.
I'm Justin Guild, aka Chef Sonic, reminding you that truth does not sell,
and we are the GymWits.